All right, good afternoon, Corpus Christi. We're here with attorney Joe Flores, and thank you for joining us with the Cronica talk show. And we're going to be doing this every Tuesday and possibly Friday, so stay tuned with us. Joe, thank you for showing up once again.
I love you guys, and I really mean it. 181,000 and growing, and we're going to Chicago, we're going to Houston, and it's not just about Latinos; it's about everybody. We're inclusive, and I think a lot of your following also right-wing conservatives. They're watching too. They want to educate themselves, and there are issues that affect all of us.
So tell us what's going on in the Nueces County Courthouse. What's the big issue today?
Are you asking about scuttlebutt, and about rumors? I
No.
Yeah, it's just the thing that I'm looking at from a legal standpoint is, look, we started out with a citizen who has every right to file a lawsuit against a public official and say you're not doing your job or this happened. It was like 120 page petition. But the
Are you talking about with Mark Gonzalez,
yes,
the district attorney? Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for clarification there. Yes, with the district attorney. And then the interesting thing is that the county attorney is kind of at the helm of the prosecution. Generally, you would see an attorney general coming in and handling that. And it kind of begs the question, is this more political or is this a larger agenda of getting perhaps more progressives off of the bench or off of being district attorneys? As it is, district attorneys are very underrepresented of color in the United States, for instance. So, and he has made some policies that are progressive and that have kind of emptied out the jails a little bit,
So
which is not good for money.
What is progressive?
Well, to me, progressive means policies that make sense. Like, for instance, pot, all right, marijuana. Do you want everybody locked up for a marijuana cigarette or for some gummies or just for having some paraphernalia? And they're in there with 33% of people that have mental conditions and gang affiliations in there. And it's not a nice place for a 21-year-old in college to be. So he's seen that that is a progressive way of handling things and crime and punishment.
So, what's going to be the outcome of this situation? What do you see in the future of this court case that was brought to the attention of the county attorney and now a judge from San Antonio, I believe?
Let me whip out the legal crystal ball here. I can't predict. Anything can happen. I mean, and 12 people in a box, forget about it. I'm talking about jurors. What we are going to be looking at is a conversation where they're going to be saying, look, it's Texas. It's a red state. Let's be honest. People are going to want more crime and punishment. But a lot of people don't understand that prison, jails equals money. For every single prisoner that's there, they get paid.
So who owns these jails or these prisons?
A lot of them are private. I mean, we've got NASDAQ for the California corrections. They're on NASDAQ. Check it out. You can buy stock. Actually, the privatization of prisons and that coupled with the mandatory minimums that came into effect, and that was by Clinton. More people have been deported by Obama. So let's just stop the conversation. The Democrats are wild-eyed liberals.
But Joe, let's talk a little bit more local. I mean, this is happening right here in Nueces County. How are people making money off of inmates or sending people to prison here in Nueces County?
Well, I mean, you have a budget and you get paid per prisoner. And if the census is low, well, and then there are vendors. You got to feed them. You got to clothe them. You got to give them medical care. I mean, there's money being made. Salaries, you have to have guards. You've got to have all this other stuff going on. And not only that, you get the federal contracts. The U.S. Marshals house people there. I don't care if you're in Carson City or in Corpus Christi or at the Annex. I've gone to see them all.
Okay, so talk a little bit about how the district attorney has dismissed thousands of cases. Have you seen the statistics on this and how it's affected crime here in our area.
Oh, come on. I have to, as a lawyer in the trenches, and I've been there in country a long time. And let me tell you, there's broad discretion on what to dismiss. Mark Gonzalez is not dismissing axe murderers, for sure. And a lot of his prosecutors, he gives them broad discretion. It's not him, he's not Mussolini pushing the button every time, come in here and let's talk about this case. There are chief prosecutors, there are prosecutors under them, there are misdemeanor prosecutors, and a lot of the time, somebody just needs a break, first-time offender, and it's broad discretion. And they can be dismissed. And honestly, some of these people, they can have house arrest. Alternative incarceration is a big deal. And it saves the taxpayer a lot of money. As long as they're nonviolent, that's the key.
Let's move over to a little bit of education. We're talking a little bit about justice of the peace here in the area that may be punishing children or even parents for kids not showing up to school or skipping school. If you guys have any questions, leave it down in the comments. Thank you guys for tuning in with Attorney Joe Flores on Cronica Talk.
Please.
So just real quick, let's talk about the education and how kids are being affected for not showing up to school through the justice of the peace.
It's no big secret. I mean, one of my best friends is Judge Joe Benavides. I think he's done a great job. Other judges are great friends of mine. That means I'm not going to do them any favors. Some of the stuff I don't agree with. I don't think that parents should be punished for every single thing that happens. And I think that schools have gone bananas. If you miss one class, they're already calling your house, and when they go, a lot of them get fined, and people are already getting crushed, man. You get pulled over and you don't have an inspection sticker, $500. You don't have your insurance, $500. You don't have this or that, $500. And they're making $400 a week. Come on, man. And then you got to go in there and you don't have a lawyer. If you hire a lawyer, $500 minimum. I mean, so they are crushing people with these things. There's got to be a better way than a carrot and a stick that, I don't care if you don't have the money, pay me. And I think Judge Benavides does a good job, and I'm not trying to kiss butt here. I think he finds ways to try to save some money, community service, doing other things. But kids have to go to school, but sometimes there are barriers. And sometimes people can't afford child care. There are other things that are going on, drug use in the home, abuse. And so it's not the child's fault all the time. I think that we need to look at, and I'm not some, tree-hugging liberal, but I'm saying that we have to look at root cause analysis of why they aren't going to school and not just throw fines at people.
Okay, so let's move over to the backpack issue now taking place in Corpus Christi, the school year 2023 and school year 2024. The CCISD board members have passed a fiscal policy where they will be implementing the clear backpack to all students who attend Corpus Christi Independent School District. So
killing me.
So
why don't we wear clear clothes and really start a conversation? I mean, a clear backpack, great. Just another amount of money people have to spend and find some clear backpacks and plenty of them. Why don't the schools supply them? Okay?
Yeah, and I think they allotted about $233,000 for these backpacks for the school district. I guess it's going to be a certain size for middle school and a certain size for high schoolers. But they're buying up $233,000 for these backpacks, and somebody got a good contract off these backpacks.
Yes, yes, and if somebody wants to hide something, children are so ingenious. I don't think a clear backpack's going to do anything to hide anything, and plus the embarrassment. Think about it, guys that were born before 1970. You're asking these people it's a violation of privacy, for one. And number two, it's not going to work as a deterrent. Number three, somebody's getting a good contract. Number four, come on, you've got more important things that you need to concentrate on.
So also in the Texas legislature, they passed, I guess, a bill where they have to have one security guard, armed security guard, for every school. So what are your thoughts on that situation?
Well, the active shooter thing, I mean, it's just like every other day something's going on, and I think we haven't addressed the issue fully about people with psychological needs and addressing all that. Where's the money for that? Where is the money for working with the families? And people say, we try. Look, it's not just about the Second Amendment, okay? Number one, people have a right. It's Texas, okay? I've got a couple of guns. I mean, it's just like, people have a right to bear arms. It's not about that. It's about putting it in the hands of children. When you have a child shooting a teacher, I mean, there's a real problem there. And that's a psychological problem. Again, root causes, gun control, punishing everybody for a kid bringing a gun to school, and making clear plastic backpacks. I'm going to love to see this. Why don't we just do a whole show on everybody walking around with clear plastic backpacks? I'd love it. I'm sure teenagers are really going to love, their privacy's already invaded every day when they get home from school. Nobody knows how to knock and go in their room and, let me see your phone. Let me track you everywhere you are. By the way, let's put a clear plastic backpack on you. So let's make your car clear plastic.
What's the alternative to public schools? I know that there's private schools, charter schools. We haven't seen a new school actually come in form of like Trump University coming into Corpus Christi or anything like that. But
well, Trump's school failed. He had a college, and it went down the tubes. I'm not saying all his projects have failed, but boy, that one was a lead balloon. Yeah.
So what's the answer to education here in Corpus Christi?
Well, you brought up an interesting comment on something that just shocks the conscience. Is not everybody, and look, I'm Latino. Not everybody needs to go to Yale, Harvard, Cornell, Dartmouth, Princeton. Look, there are other types of education, and starting out with is education in your own home. Read. And the other thing is valuing education. Your family needs to value education and put a price on that benchmark. Okay? And we do have the craft school. There are some people that are artists, man. There are some people that are linguists. There are some people that are mathematicians. They're STEM, guys on steroids. But not everybody is, man. I think that education is not just numbers and a test. It's life. Taking more people on more field trips, educating people. I'm not trying to get on a stump here, but I learned more traveling and meeting people from different cultures than I did behind some book. And another thing, last thing on my stump is stop making people slaves to the system. And what do I mean by that? You know what I mean. 100,000 plus in student loans that can't be forgiven by bankruptcy or anything else. We're creating a system where these children won't even be able to buy a house when they're in their 30s.
Well, that's a very interesting issue that nobody talks about, not even the major news media
I'll go
outlets.
there.
Yeah, so and I'm glad that you brought that up. Speaking about those type of issues, let's move over to healthcare or health. A lot of people, I know we talk a lot about health here in your office.
And your fans always say, lay off the tacos. I'm working on it, okay?
So,
very tempting.
There is no health here in Corpus Christi, right?
Whoa. No, I wouldn't go that far.
You wouldn't go that far? Okay.
I think we've got some great nurse practitioners, physicians, respiratory therapists. What I'm thinking is the middleman. We're talking about all these insurance companies, all these corporate American guys that have never held a dying patient's hand.
But wait a minute, Joe, because, every morning I wake up, I go get some refried beans from the taqueria around the corner, the high cholesterol, and then you know what? Sometimes I don't even feel like exercising. So I tell you what,
your fans are already going panzone. Take it easy, 7,000 guys. Come on.
That's okay.
I'm working
Joe.
on it, man.
Joe, it's okay. It's all right. It's an issue that we all have.
You know I love you guys.
Yes, that's right. And so, what's the answer to these type of issues where people are waking up in the morning, going around the corner to the taqueria, eating the high cholesterol tacos, and then not exercising?
Guilty as charged, but I'm walking my dog. I'm trying to, modify, what happened with 2 tacos has gone down to a half, little things that you can do. But the other thing is, aside from taquitos, the other thing is just prevention, okay? We are not getting enough prevention. It's not the taquito itself. A guy like you, ideal body weight, a good height, good looking, young, healthy guy, no problems with cholesterol. It's not that. It's the prevention. As they say in Mexico, in their program, es mejor prevenir. It's better to prevent. So what does that mean? Education. Get some baseline labs, height, weight, body mass index when you're young. Check your eyes, check your ears, check your heart, check your lungs, and then check them out, and draw blood and get it done. And I'm going to say this to guys because I love you guys out there, Mexicano, camaradas míos. I'm going to say we're the last ones to take care of ourselves. We don't pull our blood. We don't go to the doctor. We wait until it's too late. We're losing toes. We're losing eyes and everything else. And sometimes we can pay for it. Most times we can't. And guess what happens? You get on disability. You can't work. And you become, unfortunately, a drain on society that we all pay for. Black, brown, yellow, red, green, Martian, whatever.
So let's I guess we'll give the final word to you, Joe. I mean, you've done a great job, and I want to always thank you for coming over here talking about these issues.
I appreciate the $100,000 an episode you pay me.
Oh no, so yeah, we lay out the red carpet for Joe every time he's ready.
It's in Monopoly money, but it's all right. It's all for the heart.
So Joe, give us your final. Let's wrap this whole thing up and bring it home. What's the final word today from Joe Flores, the attorney?
The thing is education, whether it's healthcare, whether it's working with students. Find out the root cause. Why aren't they wanting to go to school? There's a thing called bullying, for one. Another thing is perhaps they don't have the ecosystem, if you will, or the economics to go. There are barriers that we've got to look at. As far as health, our system is upside down. We want people to get sick because that's where we make the big bucks. That's just fundamentally wrong. We need to do it early, do it often, get prevention. And also our stress levels are out the roof, and we're making, depression, sadness, substance abuse and stuff something to be ashamed of, and nobody wants to ask for help because it's embarrassing and it's a label. So educate yourself as much as you can. If you have support, get it. If not, there's plenty out there, and just educate yourself on that. And there's nothing wrong with not having $1 in your pocket. There's nothing wrong with not having this college degree from Dartmouth or something. But educate yourself. My dad was an 8th grade graduate, and he graduated at the top of his class. And it took him 30 years to become a teacher later. It's never too late. Never give up, ever.
Thank you so much, Joe, for giving us the life of a real Mexican American here in Corpus Christi. I want to thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back live possibly next Friday, or even sooner on Tuesday. We're going to try to do one on Tuesday from 7 to 8.
Mexican American with a capital M.
There you go. Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate everything you do.
All right, man.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, guys.